Adam stood near the wide glass doors of the city train station and listened to the morning sounds around him. He held his white walking stick in one hand and a small bag in the other hand. He was blind, but his posture was steady and careful. He counted the steps from the entrance to a quiet corner he had learned by heart. He could smell hot tea from a nearby stall, and he could hear the soft echo of rolling luggage on the floor. People moved in fast lines because everyone had places to reach and time to chase. Some voices sounded tired and some sounded rushed. A few people laughed for a moment and then disappeared into the crowd. Adam stayed still and waited for the next announcement from the speaker above. He had a ticket in his pocket and a simple plan in his mind. He wanted to reach a small town and start a fresh job that did not need perfect sight. Adam had lost his sight years ago after a sudden illness that changed everything. He had once worked at a small repair shop and he had loved the smell of wood and metal. After losing his sight, he learned new ways to live, and he learned to move through the city by sound and touch. Some days were heavy, but he never allowed himself to stop trying. He practiced walking routes again and again until they felt like stories in his head. He also learned to listen for details like the direction of footsteps and the distance of doors. A woman named Maya worked at a kiosk inside the station, and she knew Adam by voice. She always spoke to him with respect, and she never treated him like a child. That morning she noticed him standing alone, and she felt a small worry in her chest. She walked closer and greeted him softly. Adam smiled a little and asked her what time it was. Maya told him the time and offered him a cup of water. Adam thanked her and said he was fine and he only needed to wait for his train. Maya nodded, but she stayed close for a moment because the station felt crowded and loud. She could tell Adam was calm, but she could also tell he was listening hard. Adam asked her if the platform was busy today. Maya said it was busy and many travelers were coming from the city side. Adam breathed in slowly and kept his focus steady. On the other side of the station, a police team walked in with smooth steps and quiet control. A trained police dog walked beside the handler with a strong body and sharp attention. The dog was known across the city for being extremely focused and disciplined. People often stepped away when they saw the dog because they respected the training and the role. The handler was an officer named Ben, and he held the leash with a steady grip. Ben scanned the area as they moved forward. The dog paused for a brief second and lifted its head as if it caught a new scent. Ben felt the pause and tightened his hold slightly. The dog did not pull hard and it did not bark or jump. It simply stopped and stared toward Adam from a distance. The station noise continued, but a small bubble of silence formed around the moment. A few travelers noticed the pause and slowed down to watch. Maya felt it too, and her eyes turned to the police team. Ben gave a quiet command in a calm voice. The dog stayed still and kept watching Adam. Ben gave another command, and the dog still did not move. This was unusual because the dog normally followed instructions with perfect timing. Ben watched the dog closely and tried to understand what it was sensing. The dog's ears stayed forward and its breathing stayed measured. It looked serious but not wild. Adam could not see any of this, but he felt a shift in the space around him. He heard footsteps that stopped, and he heard a slight change in the crowd's rhythm. He also heard the soft sound of a leash chain moving gently. Adam kept his shoulders relaxed, but his fingers tightened on the handle of his walking stick. He turned his head slightly, as if he could point his ears toward the center of attention. He did not want to draw trouble, but he wanted to stay aware. Maya stepped a little closer to Adam and spoke softly to keep him calm. She told him the police dog had stopped and seemed to be looking at him. Adam nodded slowly, as if he understood the weight of that information. He did not panic, and he did not step back. He simply stood there and listened for the next sound that might guide him. He asked Maya if the dog seemed upset. Maya said the dog looked focused and not upset. Officer Ben began walking slowly toward Adam with care. He did not want to scare anyone, and he did not want the crowd to grow nervous. The dog moved with him in a controlled pace and stayed close at his side. People made a path without being told, and many eyes followed them. Maya held her breath as they approached. Adam heard the footsteps coming closer, and he remained still. When Ben reached a safe distance, he stopped again and watched Adam's face. Adam's expression was calm and honest, and a little tired. Ben noticed the small scars on Adam's hands that looked like years of work and life. The dog sat down beside Ben and kept staring at Adam. The dog's tail moved once in a slow way and then became still again. Ben felt confused because this dog usually ignored strangers unless there was a clear reason. Adam spoke in a gentle voice toward the direction of the footsteps. He asked if someone needed help or if he was in the way. His voice carried no anger, and no fear, and no pride. It was simply the voice of a person trying to understand the moment. Ben answered and said everything was fine and he only wanted to ask a few questions. Adam nodded and waited. Ben asked Adam if he had lost something or if he needed assistance. Adam said he was waiting for a train and he did not need assistance, but he appreciated the care. Ben asked Adam where he was traveling. Adam shared the town name and said he was going for a job chance. Ben listened and then looked at his dog again. The dog continued to stare as if it was reading a hidden message. Maya noticed the dog's nose lift and then lower as if it was smelling the air around Adam. The dog leaned forward a little and Ben allowed a small amount of slack in the leash. The dog moved closer in a slow, respectful way and stopped just short of touching Adam. Adam felt the warm breath near his hand and he stayed calm. He lowered his hand slightly with care, as if he was greeting a new presence. He did not reach out fast, and he did not make sudden moves. The dog moved its head closer and sniffed Adam's hand and then sniffed near Adam's bag. The motion was controlled and gentle and careful. Ben watched closely and kept the leash safe. The crowd held its breath because many people believed this dog never acted without reason. Some people quietly whispered that the dog must have sensed danger. Others thought the dog was reacting to a scent it remembered from training. Adam remained calm, but his heart beat faster inside his chest. He could feel the dog's attention like a bright light even without sight. He asked Ben what the dog was doing and why it had stopped. Ben admitted he was not sure and said the dog was acting in an unusual way. Ben asked Adam if he had been near any police work or training areas. Adam said no, and he lived a simple routine. Then the dog did something no one expected at all. The dog slowly sat down right in front of Adam as if it was guarding him. It lifted one paw and placed it gently on Adam's shoe. The touch was light and careful and steady. Adam froze for a moment because he did not understand the meaning. Maya covered her mouth because the gesture looked like a deliberate message. Officer Ben stared at the dog with wide eyes because he had never seen it do that in public. The dog looked up at Adam and then looked up at Ben and then back at Adam again. Ben felt a cold wave of surprise because the dog seemed to be asking for attention to Adam. The station noise returned in small pieces as people began murmuring again. Adam stood still and waited because he sensed something important was happening. Adam stood very still as the large dog kept its paw on his shoe, and the quiet moment spread through the busy station. His heart moved fast, but his face stayed calm because he trusted his sense of peace. The people around watched without moving, and many held their breath. The dog did not grow loud and did not show any anger. The dog only stayed close as if it wanted to protect Adam. Officer Ben slowly lowered his hand toward the dog in a gentle way so it would not feel pushed. He spoke in a soft, steady voice that the dog knew well. The dog looked at Ben but did not move its paw away from Adam. Ben felt a strange mix of worry and wonder. He had trained this dog for years and never saw it behave this way before. The dog was acting with purpose and calm. Maya stood beside Adam and could feel the tension in the air. She could tell the dog was not a danger, but she could also feel that something serious was happening. She placed a light hand on Adam's arm so he would not feel alone. Adam gave a small nod because he could feel her presence. He listened closely to every sound around him. The station felt like it had slowed down just for this moment. Ben asked Adam again if he had ever been in trouble or if he had lost something important. Adam gently shook his head and said he lived a simple, quiet life. He said he had no secrets and no hidden past. He only wanted to go to a new town and start fresh. His voice was honest and steady. The dog lifted its head slightly, as if it agreed with his words. The dog slowly removed its paw from Adam's shoe and then sat beside him. Its body stayed close to Adam like a guard. People in the station whispered in soft tones. Some said the dog must sense something kind in Adam. Others said it must sense a hidden risk. Ben stayed alert, but he also felt the dog was not warning of danger. The dog looked calm and almost gentle. Adam slowly bent down a little and asked if he could touch the dog. Ben hesitated for a short moment and then gave a small nod. Adam reached out slowly and placed his hand on the dog's head. The fur was warm and smooth. The dog did not pull away. Instead it leaned into Adam's hand. A quiet sound came from the dog that sounded calm and steady. The crowd could not believe what they were seeing. This dog was known for its strong, serious nature. Yet here it was acting like a calm friend. Ben felt his eyes grow wide as he watched. He had trained the dog to respond only to clear signals. But the dog was responding to something deeper in Adam. Ben started to wonder if the dog sensed Adam's heart and not just his smell. Maya smiled softly as she saw Adam touch the dog. She could feel the fear in the room melt into something warm. Adam spoke softly to the dog as if it were a friend. He told the dog that he did not mean harm. He said he only wished to travel and live a good life. The dog stayed close and calm. Ben knelt down near the dog and gently checked its collar and body to make sure nothing was wrong. Everything was normal. The dog looked up at Ben and then looked back at Adam. It was as if the dog was telling Ben that Adam was safe. Ben felt a strange feeling in his chest. He had always trusted this dog. And now the dog was showing trust in Adam. A few officers behind Ben stepped closer, but Ben raised his hand to stop them. He wanted to understand this moment. He asked Adam if he was feeling all right. Adam said he felt calm even though he knew something unusual was happening. He said he could feel the dog's kindness. He said it felt like the dog was protecting him. The dog suddenly stood up and moved slightly in front of Adam as if blocking the crowd. Its body was strong and steady. The people around stepped back without being told. The dog was not showing anger, but it was showing control. It was as if it wanted to give Adam space. Ben slowly stood up and let the dog keep its place. Adam asked what the dog was doing now. Maya explained that the dog was standing in front of him like a shield. Adam felt a soft smile form on his face. He said he had not felt protected like this in a long time. His voice carried quiet emotion. The dog remained steady and calm. Ben asked Adam if he would be willing to come with them to a quiet room just to talk. Adam agreed because he trusted the dog and the calm in the moment. Maya said she would come too. The dog walked beside Adam as if it had chosen him. The crowd made a path again and many people watched with wonder. They moved through a side hall to a quiet room away from the noise. Adam walked slowly and carefully, but the dog stayed close. The dog matched Adam's steps and did not pull or push. Ben walked on the other side and felt a strange sense of peace. The room they entered was small and quiet. Adam sat down on a chair and the dog lay down at his feet. Ben and Maya stood nearby. The dog rested its head near Adam's shoe. The air felt calm and safe. Ben asked Adam a few simple questions about his life. Adam spoke about losing his sight and learning to live again. He spoke about wanting to be useful and kind. As Adam spoke, the dog stayed still and listened. Its ears moved slightly as if it understood every word. Ben felt a deep sense of respect for Adam. He realized this man carried no fear or anger. He carried only hope. The dog seemed to sense that. Maya felt tears rise in her eyes as she watched the scene. A blind man and a powerful police dog had found a connection no one expected. Adam placed his hand gently on the dog's head again. The dog stayed close and calm. The moment felt like the start of something special. The people outside still waited and whispered. No one knew what would happen next. But everyone could feel that this meeting was not by chance. Something important was unfolding. and the dog was at the center of it with Adam. Adam sat in the quiet room with his hands resting on his knees and the large dog lying close to his feet, and the calm in the space felt warm and steady. Ben watched both of them with careful eyes, and Maya stood near the door to keep the space peaceful. The soft sounds of the station were far away, and the moment felt private and safe. Adam could feel the slow breath of the dog, and it helped him feel grounded. Ben spoke in a gentle tone and asked Adam more about his past, and Adam answered with honest, simple words. Adam shared how he once lived a busy life and worked with tools and wood, and how he lost his sight but kept his spirit strong. He spoke about learning new ways to move and to listen and to trust people again. His voice was calm and clear and full of quiet strength. The dog stayed still as if listening closely to every word. Maya felt a deep respect for Adam as she listened. She had seen many travelers in the station, but few carried such peace. She noticed how the dog stayed close to Adam without fear or tension. It was as if the dog had chosen him for a reason. Ben felt the same and wondered what the dog was sensing that he could not. The dog slowly lifted its head and placed it on Adam's foot in a gentle way. Adam smiled softly because he could feel the warmth and trust in the touch. He gently moved his hand and rested it on the dog's head. The fur felt smooth and calm. The dog did not move away and stayed close. Ben had seen the dog work in many serious moments, but never like this. He felt a deep sense of wonder. He began to think that the dog was sensing Adam's heart and not just his body. Ben believed in the training of the dog, and he believed in its instincts. He trusted that this moment meant something. Maya spoke softly and asked Adam how he felt about the dog. Adam said he felt safe and peaceful. He said he could feel kindness from the dog, and it made him feel less alone. The room felt warmer as he spoke. The dog stayed calm and relaxed. Ben asked Adam if he had ever owned a dog. Adam said he had a small dog when he was young, and it was his best friend. He said animals had always made him feel understood. The dog lifted its head again as if it liked the story. Ben smiled slightly at the sight. The door opened slowly and another officer looked in. Ben raised his hand to keep things quiet. He did not want to break the moment. The officer nodded and closed the door again. The room returned to silence. Adam began to speak about his hopes. He said he wanted a simple job and a small place to live. He wanted to feel useful and not like a burden. He said he wanted to help people in any way he could. His voice carried honesty and care. The dog stayed close as if it agreed with his words. Ben felt a deep respect grow in his heart. He saw a man who had lost much but still held on to goodness. He also saw a dog that had chosen to protect that goodness. Ben believed that animals often saw what people missed. The dog slowly stood up and walked toward Ben. It looked at Ben and then looked back at Adam. It was as if it was asking Ben to trust Adam. Ben felt the message clearly. He knelt down and placed his hand on the dog's back. He nodded slowly. Maya watched with quiet wonder. She could feel that something special was happening. She knew this story would stay with her for a long time. Adam remained calm and waited because he trusted the dog. Ben spoke softly and told Adam that he believed him. He said the dog had never been wrong before. Adam felt relief and gratitude. He thanked Ben for his kindness. The dog returned to Adam's side and lay down again. Outside the room people were still waiting and wondering. Inside the room there was peace. Adam felt like he had found a friend in the dog. He felt that this moment was changing his life in a quiet way. Maya smiled as she watched Adam and the dog together. She felt hope in her heart. The station outside was still busy, but this small room felt like a calm island. Ben knew he would never forget this moment. He had seen the dog do many amazing things, but this was different. This was about trust and heart and connection. Adam gently spoke to the dog and thanked it for staying close. The dog stayed still and calm. The bond between them felt real and strong. Everyone in the room felt that this was only the beginning of something meaningful. The quiet moment held a promise of change. Adam sat quietly as the soft light from the small room filled the space, and the dog stayed close to him with steady calm. Ben and Maya felt the moment had reached something deep and gentle. The air carried a sense of trust and quiet hope. Adam placed his hand on the dog once more and felt a new kind of comfort. The dog stayed still and relaxed. Ben spoke with a calm voice and told Adam that he believed the dog had chosen him for a reason. Adam listened and felt a wave of gratitude. He had not expected such kindness on a simple travel day. He said he felt thankful and safe. Maya smiled and felt warmth in her heart. The door slowly opened and the sounds of the station returned in a soft way. Ben told Adam that he was free to go to his train. Adam felt relieved because he did not want to miss his journey. The dog stood up and moved closer to Adam as if it did not want him to leave. Ben noticed this and felt a soft smile form. Maya offered to walk Adam back to the platform. Adam agreed and stood up with care. The dog walked beside him with slow, steady steps. Ben walked on the other side and felt proud of the dog. People in the hall noticed the trio and quietly stepped aside. As they moved through the station, Adam felt a sense of peace he had not felt in a long time. The dog stayed so close that Adam could feel its warmth. Maya guided Adam gently and spoke to him when the floor changed. The moment felt like a small journey of its own. When they reached the platform, Adam could hear the sound of the train in the distance. He felt a mix of excitement and sadness. He did not want to leave the dog behind. The dog stopped and sat beside Adam. Ben felt a strong emotion in his chest. Adam knelt slowly and placed both hands on the dog's head. He thanked the dog for its kindness and care. The dog leaned into his touch. Maya wiped a tear from her eye because the moment felt deep and true. Ben felt proud of his partner. Ben told Adam that the dog would always remember him. Adam smiled and said he would remember the dog too. The train sound grew closer. Adam stood up and prepared to move. The dog stayed calm but its eyes followed Adam. Maya guided Adam toward the train door. Adam turned his head as if he was looking back, even though he could not see. He said a soft goodbye. The dog stayed still and watched. Ben held the leash with care. Adam stepped onto the train and found a seat with help from Maya. The train began to move slowly. Adam sat down and felt a quiet joy. He knew this day had given him more than just a trip. Outside the train window, the station moved away. Ben and Maya watched until the train was gone. The dog stood tall and calm. Ben knelt and placed a hand on the dog's back. He felt proud and grateful. Maya said that she would never forget this moment. Ben agreed and said that the dog had shown a rare kind of wisdom. The dog looked up at them as if it understood. Back on the train, Adam sat with a gentle smile. He felt a new hope in his heart. He knew that even in a busy world, kindness could still find him. The journey ahead felt bright. Adam held his bag and listened to the rhythm of the train. He carried the memory of the dog with him. It gave him strength. The story of the blind man and the powerful police dog would stay in the hearts of those who saw it. It was a reminder that true connection does not need sight. It only needs heart.